hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And yes, I know it's been a minute, but we back for the jump off. Whoa. Whoa. Yes, we're back. Yes, I'm not on camera, but mainly because my allergies are doing the most right now. For those who are in the Midwest, you already know the weather has been fluctuating. One day it's in almost the 70s, and the next day it's in the teens. It's been a whole thing. So, yeah. Also, too, I know I need to play catch up and get these reviews out to you. And honestly, it's much quicker for me to just do it the way I'm doing it right now versus going on video. I'm hoping I can get back on video once I'm caught up, but that's not why you're here. You're here for the review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is for season 15. This is episode 12. And I'll be honest with you. The other reason why we were kind of delayed at this is I'm ready for Atlanta to start. I'm just not invested in this season for Beverly Hills. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of bored. I really am. I'm hoping that this cast trip will make some things change and make things happen, but I don't know. I don't know. This is the cast trip, and it's a Bose cast trip, and they're going to Italy. And honestly, I'm going to give you my thoughts on everyone as we get going. I'm not even going to go in order because really nothing happened this episode. It was just more of the same thing. And I think that's what it is for Beverly Hills that is getting me. This is very rinse and repeat of a season. So I'm kind of bored. So I am going to try to go in order, but at the same time, if I don't, hey, charge it to, I don't know, charge it to the game. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the episode. So we start off with our typical Housewives montage. We actually have more than one this episode, which also kind of lets me know that not much is happening this episode. But anyway, the first Housewives montage, we see Rachel with her older son, Skylar. And I guess Skylar ended up getting her something like, buying her an Hermes bracelet, which clearly she purchased it, but he picked it out type situation for her. I guess it was her birthday. I'm not really sure what was going on with that, but yeah. So we see that. And she kind of makes a joke of like, hey, don't just be buying that for any girl in, your life. And he's like, yeah, sure. He's definitely a typical teenager. The other one, the one that we've seen on screen more than him, he is, I don't know. I feel like the kids are helping Rachel because without those kids, I don't know how I would feel about her this season because she complains a lot about the divorce. I know it's actively happening, but you already know. But anyway, so then the other side, like montage that we have Erica. She's getting a facial and she's talking about her and the estheticians like, let's get you snatched. And she's like, oh yes, looking forward to it. And I ain't gonna hold you. I was watching that part of the montage and I was jealous. I was like, okay, I really need to go get a facial. For 2026, that has been my serious goal of self-care, at least once a month. So last week or 2 weekends ago, I went and got a mani-pedi. I've been doing the mani-pedis honestly once a month now since the new year. And then also I went ahead and got, things taken care of when it comes to the hair removal of it all. But I did that all one day and I just felt like a pampered princess. So but yeah, I was jealous when I saw that part. And then the other part of the montage is Sun's talking to herself along with her animals. And Sun's not really bringing anything this season, but really none of them are. So we'll talk more about it once we get past the montage. But the first scene that we have is Dorit and Bose, and let's get into that. So Dorit's at her house, and Bose pays her a visit. And at first, they're just like, hey, girl, hey, I ain't gonna hold you. This is one of Bose's better wigs because that bust down was given when these be gave. I was like, okay, I like that bust down. But other than that, let me just skip ahead to the scene because we do have another side scene. It's kind of a so we have a dual scene going on at the same time. So while this is happening, we have Kyle and Amanda. They meet up for coffee, and so we're having a back and forth. And with Dorit, with Bose is basically bone carrying everything that Kyle has been saying about Dorit. And Dorit, of course, is not taking it too kindly. And honestly, I don't completely blame Dorit, but she is putting 20 on 10 a little bit at the same time. But I don't completely blame Dorit because it is giving that Kyle, Dorit is your storyline because she is not talking about anything else this season. There and what this gets me is why does she not talk to the ladies about her daughter getting married? I mean, I know that's her daughter's story, but this is going to be her first child getting married. I would love to hear how she feels about that. But of course, Kyle's not going to talk about herself. She's going to, distract from that. And that's the sad thing and tragic thing about Kyle. So, but also too, even when I'm watching Bose and Dorit talk back and forth, Bose ain't got nothing going on either, other than being Dorit's sidekick. And it's just kind of like I wanted more for her, and we're not getting much of anything when it comes to Bose either. Like she is not bringing anything to me. Um, the trip, yes, okay, it's a cast trip, but all the women have money on that show, so I'm not really that impressed, to be completely honest. Um, because the storyline just isn't there for me. And we talk about Dorit being tardy for the party, and child, that's going to come up again this episode. But and the way Kyle's describing it to Amanda, because let's go back to Kyle talking to Amanda, you would think that this is all new things that is a Dorit thing. None of this is new. Dorit has been historically late throughout her whole entire throughout the years of being on the show. So I don't see what the difference is other than she's a little bit more flustered, but she has a lot more going on. And Kyle's just being very judgy and not really paying attention to the other facts that Dorit was never on time when it comes to most things. So, I mean, I guess I'm confused when it comes to that. But then we do bring up the cast trip of it all, and they're all getting excited about this trip. Now, when it comes to Amanda, Amanda mentions that she does facials all the time. I don't know. I find it hard to relate to Amanda because she also is not showing up as herself. It seems like she shows up as herself a little bit in the solo scenes, but is very much put on. And but then when she's talking to others in the group, she talks in this baby voice. And I love that actually later on this episode, Sutton calls it out. Um, but it's just no one is showing up this season, like at all. So even with Kyle and Amanda talking about Dorit, that's all they talk about in the scene. They also talk about Amanda's party and how no one really showed up for the party. But why would anyone show up for? I mean, we've already had the discussion of the why, but also at the same time, some of the women are being haters. And yes, Bose, I'm speaking directly to you. You are being a whole entire hater when it comes to Amanda. But other than that, I don't know. I feel like I said, everything that we're talking about, we've talked about it 2 or 3 episodes ago. That's just my thought. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so then the next scene here, we have Rachel, and she's talking to her kids about the divorce. And the reason why she is actually talking to them directly is because she was expecting with her to do when she did deliberation, she was hoping that basically none of the divorce proceedings or anything would go public, but obviously it did. And so Rachel is trying to be proactive and tell the children before the classmates talk to the kids about it, because they're both teenagers essentially. And for the most part, both the boys have Rachel's back. It's clear that her ex-husband was in the wrong, or at least, in the way that things are going. Because the other thing that comes up, which I believe it's probably going to come up next episode, haven't had a chance to watch next episode yet, but side note, you are going to get the other episode, the most current episode, after I review this. I am going to make it where this is like a back-to-back situation. That way we're caught up, and then we can hopefully be up and running for the next episode. But anyway, apparently another thing that came up with this divorce, like both the children are actually glad that the divorce is happening to a certain degree because it's a lot more peaceful at the home. Probably because they're arguing, they weren't really getting along. And then the other thing that has occurred with this too is apparently the other woman that he was cheating on her with, he's been like bringing bringing her around the kids, and neither of them are for it. And so it's really awkward and weird. And high key, it's not even awkward and weird. It's disrespectful. It is honestly disrespectful. And yeah, so that's kind of the other thing that comes up in this episode or this scene with Rachel, but it is more of her talking about this divorce. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so now we have this solo scene with Amanda with her wedding planner. And the most I got out of this, and I wrote down 10-10-20-26. I that must be a manifesting number, angel number for her. So yeah. But other than that, I really got nothing out of this scene because it was really just Amanda bragging and being very surface. And you know what? I think that is a problem this episode. Everyone, for the most part, was being surface. The only time when the ladies were not being surface is when they were talking about other people that were not themselves. And that just doesn't really work, for me anyway. So that's kind of all I got from Amanda scene. Next, let's go back to the next scene. We have Erica and Kyle, and they're shopping. And guess who they're talking about? Dory. Okay. Again, I'm kind of over it. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier on, Dree asked Bose, do you think that Kyle is talking about her out of concern or something else? I think it is a little bit of both, but I honestly, because Kyle's dragging it, it is making me think it's something else. I hate to call a thing, but that is kind of what I'm getting out of it. It is giving something else and not anything that is a genuine thing. Because Dorit also calls out, how Dorit showed up for Kyle when Kyle was going through her things and she's not getting that return. So that's kind of the other reason why I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, I kind of agree with Dorit a little bit in this. But Erica does seem like she's concerned. She actually does seem concerned. But I think the reason why I'm believing Erica's concern versus Kyle is because Erica's not constantly talking about it. She's not making it about her. And I feel like with Kyle, she's really very much making it about her. So that doesn't really give concern to me. Anyway, so then next we have the montage of all the women getting ready for the trip. And let's get into what ends up happening once they all get ready and they are headed to Italy. So here we have Sutton. So who shows up first? Sutton, Amanda, and Bose. And then Kyle does show up next too. But they basically decided, Sutton, before Amanda gets there, she does say, hey, I think I'm going to room with Amanda. And Sutton now wants to be kind of like the mother hen and take Amanda under her wing. Because she just thinks that Amanda is not being herself enough around this group. And she is basically not speaking up. Like, which I agree. Amanda's doing like the thing that she's doing is she's leading with her businesses and she's like, I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'm a boss. But when it comes to speak her speech, she's not really doing that when it comes to certain situations. And also, too, none of the women really know her as a person. And she's leading with like her businesses and not really talking about herself. But also, too, some of the women are being hypercritical. So it does make it hard for her to want to do that. And I get that. So, but we do find out that Bose has a plan. She's going to basically have the women show up in 3 groups because people are not all getting along. So she said Natalie, who's a friend of Amanda, Bose, Sutton, and Kyle. They're all one group. Yes, that is one giant group, but yes, they're all one group apparently. And then the second group, who we see is next, which is group 2, is Erica, Dorit, and Rachel. And remember how I said earlier on, this tardiness thing's going to come up again? It definitely did. And Dorit was basically being high-key disrespectful to everyone because we find out this is a commercial flight. This is not a private jet or anything like that. And she is running late. And everyone's waiting for her to get there so that they can all, show up and do all the things at the same time. It looks like they're kind of chilling in a lounge of some sort. And they're just kind of like, yo, we need you to be here on time. And they're literally freaking out about it because it's an international trip. And both Rachel and Erica just like, look, we'll just leave her. We're not waiting forever. But she does finally show up at the last minute. But what we find out, and the reason Erica already knew this because Dorit basically, I guess Erica must have texted Dorit and found out that she haven't even left the house yet. It was a whole entire thing. And the way I would have been pissed, I would have tore her a new one. For those who know me, they know I do not like that kind of tardiness. That is high key disrespectful. And for flights, of all the things, that's the one that's going to give me the most anxiety. Speaking of anxiety, the other two that are in a group together is Kathy and Jennifer Tilly. So Kathy Hilton and Jennifer Tilly are in a group together, and Kathy Hilton is being neurotic as all get out and has all these different things, pillows and all these things. And Jennifer's like, oh my gosh, this is team too much. So we find out though that the women with the three different groups are not going to be showing up there at the same time. So the first group, which is the largest group, they arrive first. And the villa's gorgeous. Kyle is eyeing the whole entire thing. She's truly impressed. Also, to this episode, I think the reason why this episode was just kind of a snooze fest for me is we relied in this episode on a lot of flashbacks. And Lisa Vanderpump came up more than once, which was really odd and kind of weird. But it was just a lot of flashbacks. So it's just, I think that's the other thing with this episode. Which is probably why I wasn't really in a hurry to watch the episode, but neither here nor there. All the women's rooms are gorgeous. Now, Beau's got like the primary suite, and that primary suite was given when need to be gave. And Sutton and Amanda, they have two twin beds in their room. Now, of course, it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it actually looked really, really nice. It didn't look that bad. And they're not like I personally wouldn't have had a problem with it if I was their size. But because I'm my size, I would have a problem with that. Because, for those who don't realize, I'm tall. I'm like 6 foot. And I'm athletically built. Like, me and Beau's kind of have a similar stature when it comes to height. And because Beau's gives me, she is pretty muscular too. So a twin size would never work for me because that's not really true. A twin would work, but it can't be one of those twins where it cuts off your feet, because it's basically the risk of my legs can be hanging off the bed type of situation if it's the wrong type of twin. But anyway, since they're more like your typically shaped petite women, it doesn't seem like it really should be that much of an issue. But I can see how they'll both be like, meh. But it turned out that they actually do. We find out and see later on this episode, both of them end up taking a nap. And the beds were actually high-key comfortable, so they really weren't that sad about it. But the way the episode ends is that Sutton and Amanda talk. And Sutton's trying to get through to her and really trying to be there for her. And Amanda's not really receiving it all the way. And really, I think this is a lead off to the next episode. So I'm hoping next episode will give us something. But if it doesn't, I'm going to be honest and transparent with you guys right now. If next episode does not impress me when it comes to this show, I'm done reviewing the show. I'm just going to wait till Atlanta comes. That's where I'm at. I'm just keeping it all the way real. But I have a feeling that the next episode will deliver. So we may not have a problem. But I'm just putting it out there. If the next episode does not deliver, you already know what I said. I said what I said. Anyway, that does conclude this review. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and be ready for the next review for the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Read the Room, episode 13, and I will see you next time. By next time, I mean tomorrow. Bye.